Hey, in today's video, I'm gonna go over a simple morning practice to lower inflammation in your body. So if you want better energy, less pain, and better brain function, you need to keep inflammation under control. And did you know that more and more research is revealing that the health of your mouth is extremely critical to the health of your whole body? And in today's video, I'm gonna give you one simple strategy that I do every morning to improve my oral health, lower inflammation, improve energy levels, reduce pain and discomfort in my body, and reduce my risk of developing chronic disease. Stick around to the end as I'm going to review the most frequently asked questions on this simple and easy strategy. So why am I talking about your mouth when it comes to inflammation in your body? The balance of microorganisms in your mouth plays an enormous role in the health of your overall body. A dysbiotic oral cavity increases our risk of developing chronic diseases like heart disease, cancer, and dementia. Numerous studies, including a very large report done at the University of Alabama School of Dentistry, have shown a connection between periodontal disease, an increased risk of stroke, Alzheimer's disease, and cognitive decline. Now, one of the major oral bacteria is Streptococcus mutans, which when left unchecked will multiply in the mouth and secrete toxins into the body's bloodstream. These toxins increase the inflammatory associated cytokine interleukin 12, which is a strong contributor to the development of chronic disease. Elevated levels of interleukin 12 are particularly associated with endothelial, the inner lining of the blood vessel, dysfunction. So damage to that inner lining of the blood vessel, which is correlated with heart disease, stroke, and dementia. This is why I love the practice of oil pulling, and I do it every morning to help improve my oral health and reduce inflammatory levels in my body. You see, oil pulling is an easy and inexpensive way to improve the balance of the microorganisms in your mouth and improve your health. We know that brushing and flossing are obviously important for oral hygiene, but oil pulling has some unique benefits. The oil pulling has been shown to bind, trap, and eliminate more microorganisms and get into deep pockets within the teeth and into some regions around root canals. Root canals are a constant breeding ground for bacteria as they're essentially dead tissue that bacteria consistently feed upon. You can't brush or floss enough to get the infections out of the root canal, but 10 minutes of oil pulling 1 or 2 times a day can be extremely effective at minimizing infectious bacteria and their toxins in the root canal, and overall improve the oral microbiome. Now let's look at the benefits of oil pulling. Number one, it improves the overall diversity and function of the oral microbiome, so the makeup of bacteria in our mouth. It gets rid of microbial waste, endotoxins that trigger inflammation. It improves your breath. It can help to whiten teeth and strengthen the teeth, gum, and jaws. Now, how do we oil pull? We take a half a teaspoon. You don't need a lot. A lot of people will say take a full teaspoon or a tablespoon. Really, all you need is about a half a teaspoon of a carrier oil. That could be coconut, sesame oil, or olive oil. And you add in 1 drop of an antimicrobial oil. Now, you don't have to do this, but a lot of people get really good benefits with 1 drop of a good antimicrobial oil. That could be like tea tree oil, oregano, or lemon oil. And you put that in your mouth and you swish it around for 10 to 15 minutes. So you combine that antimicrobial oil with the coconut oil or the carrier oil, put it in your mouth, swish it around for 10 to 15 minutes. Avoid gargling the oil, but instead use slow pulling motions. So you don't gargle, but you just kind of swish it around. Be sure to get the oil to all the reaches of the mouth. Most people find that the oil feels thinner after the 10-minute mark. Never swallow any of the oil as it's full of toxins and microbes. After finishing the oil swishing, spit the oil outside on your lawn or garden or in the trash can. You don't want to spit it in the sink or toilet as the oil can solidify and clog your plumbing. After you oil pull, it's a good idea to drink some clean water with a pinch of salt and wash the solution around your mouth to eliminate any of the toxic debris still in your mouth. Then you can go ahead and brush your teeth. And if you do that really well, it'll help eliminate any other toxins that would still be in your mouth. So I like to actually oil pull in the morning, and I do it outside. I go out, I ground my bare feet on grass, I'll oil pull, I'll pray, I'll stretch, and then after about 10 minutes, I spit it out. Now, when I'm working with clients, I recommend they do it 1 to 4 times daily, depending on their health history and dental health challenges. For someone who has a root canal or multiple root canals, I strongly encourage them to oil pull 3 to 4 times daily. They don't always need to do it for 10 minutes. Even 5 minutes will get some great benefits. Someone without many dental challenges, they can do great with 1 oil pull session per day. That's what I personally do. I don't have cavities or root canals. So I just do it once a day, and I typically recommend 1 or maybe twice a day for people that just want real good wellness results. And so, like I said, I'm in this boat. I've never had a cavity, no major dental work done. I always oil pull in the morning at some point, and we'll often do it again in the evening. There are many different ways to practice oil pulling. Many people swear by one particular method, but various other strategies will work well for you. And here are some of the most frequently asked questions that I get on a routine basis when it comes to the beautiful process of oil pulling. What is the best type of oil to use? This is the most common question. Use a high quality carrier oil. It could be organic coconut oil, organic olive oil, or organic sesame oil. I recommend coconut oil. It's the one that I personally use. And I found that it works really well. I always recommend an organic oil so you're not getting pesticides and herbicides in there. Coconut oil, remember, it will be solid at room temperature, but it's gonna melt within 15 seconds of putting it in your mouth. So it's almost immediately gonna turn into a liquid. Now, should you use an essential oil? I talked about it earlier. You may wanna use an antimicrobial essential oil like tea tree oil, oregano oil, or lemon oil. Just use 1 small drop as these oils are really strong. You don't need this, as research has demonstrated great benefits with the use of the carrier oil. So all you really need is a carrier oil, but the benefit of the essential oil is it has the potential to amplify the antimicrobial benefits you receive from the oil pulling process. So give it a shot for a week and see what you think. Be sure to only use 1 very small drop each time. Too much of the essential oil could be too irritating for your teeth and gums. Now, what's the best time to oil pull? There's no real answer to this other than whatever time you have available. I personally like to do it within really right after I wake up. So first thing I do is I wake up, and it's after I go to the bathroom, it's literally the first thing I do. I just go ahead, put in some coconut oil in my mouth. I go outside, I take my dog outside, and my dog goes to the bathroom. I stretch, I pray, walk around in my front yard. And then when I'm done, I spit it out. That's really my practice. That's how I personally like to do it. But you got to figure out what you're going to be consistent with. Now, another question is how long before I notice benefits? And I'll say that most people notice the health improvements within 2 weeks of beginning the oil pulling process. Although your mouth may feel cleaner right away, the typical benefits most people experience include whiter teeth, better breath, better body odor, less joint pain, and improved energy. The long-term benefits are invaluable, as this may be one of the best strategies for reducing chronic disease risk. And it's simple, easy, and inexpensive. Now, one of the most common questions I get is, can I oil pull even though I have amalgam or silver fillings? Fortunately, oil pulling does not induce a detox reaction, and it's not gonna pull mercury vapors out of the fillings. It will not wear out or cause corrosion in your fillings any more than having a salad with oil would. Now, I don't recommend using essential oils, like don't put oregano oil or tea tree oil with your oil pulling if you have amalgams, as those essential oils may cause a corrosive reaction. However, oil pulling with either olive, coconut, or sesame oil, it poses no threat at all. Most people have told me they feel dizzy when they oil pull, and this is most likely due to rigorous swishing. So if you feel a little bit dizzy, you're probably swishing too hard. Try using just a small amount, like a quarter or a half a teaspoon. You don't need much of your carrier oil. And let it sit in your mouth with little to no swishing for about 5 minutes. Slowly build your way up to where you can handle 10 to 15 minutes of gentle swishing. If you desire, you can then add more oil to your pulling sessions. Now, can oil pulling cause gum bleeding? Guys, there's nothing about the process of oil pulling that would cause the gums to bleed or any unwanted dental issues. However, for some individuals, they might have a sensitivity or even an allergy to a particular oil they're using. If that's the case, that oil will cause more inflammation in the body and it could lead to gum bleeding. Additionally, if you use too much of an antimicrobial oil, remember I said one very small drop of antimicrobial oil, sometimes people are dropping 2, 3, 4 drops, that could inflame your gum lining. So be sure, again, to use just one very small drop and never more each time you oil pull. If you notice this, if you notice gum bleeding or some other unwanted reaction that seems to consistently happen when you oil pull, try using different oils or discussing it with your holistic health practitioner. So hopefully you guys will get started with oil pulling now. You can see it's a really simple, easy practice. It helps reduce inflammation in your body, improves your oral microbiome, can whiten your teeth, reduce the overall toxic load in your system, and really help you optimize your overall health. It's a simple, easy thing to do. Be sure to start it today. Would love to hear your experience in the comments box below. And of course, share this video or this podcast with anybody that you know and that you care about. Be sure to check out drjockers.com. We've got a detailed article all about oil pulling that you can review as well. And subscribe to our channel so you never miss one of these important trainings. We'll see you soon. Be blessed.